Hello everyone, meeting from the bedroom here, your guitar junkie. What's on the agenda today? The illusion of effects. First, let me use some of my effects and make some noise that everyone can complain about. Yeah, so within that, I just stuck with something that I'm just familiar with playing. But the volume, I was messing with the volume pedal, so I wasn't really focused on what I was playing. And it just wasn't loud enough. I think I have to turn up the pedal, the loop station pedal with all my backing tracks, just a little bit more. Because I was trying to ever so gently make it just a touch louder, not realizing it, that I already had it floored. Had the pedal to the metal, so to speak. So, yeah. So with that, I had my gain on. I had my Zeus TC Electronics, my Zeus drive, which I like. It's just as good as the one that Cal B won in the previous video a long time ago. But it's just a lot quieter. It's more compatible with my entire board, which is what matters. I love that one that I sent him because it had the gold and silver. You know, you could hold it and change it. But it was just, by itself was great, but just didn't play well with my others. So that I love, again, with any open face pickup humbucker. And my TC Electronics is, again, I got that tone set to a little bit, bring down the high end on the Bill Lawrence USA L500 pickups in my Washburn guitars. And again, the Gladiator Demon FX, it's a double preamp. I just like that sometimes for adding little stuff in. Again, this is the only thing that's on there now is the delay, slapback, and the reverb. First time I'm using reverb on an amp, I must say, and I had it between 4 and 5, and I said, well, let me push it to 5 and see what happens. Yeah, really, I really went to the extreme, right? And it just, to me, the more reverb you have, the more glassy it makes your tone. So let me show you. That's clean. This is the slapback. That's just with the reverb. Now here. And I stack it. Now, if I were to put the reverb up anymore, which I'm not because I have to turn around and put my back to the camera, it really makes it like it's glassy, makes it too thin and tinny. So the Gladiator, again with the two different, gives it just that little bit more snot, but it compresses it at the same time. Then the second channel just got a little bit more snot. So, let's cut down on the tone a little bit. There we go. Yeah, whenever it rains out or a thunderstorm, my dog panics. She's one of those kind of dogs. I've never had a dog like that before. And she runs in here and tries to climb under the bed. That's got a bunch of guitar cases under there. And she steps on my pedal board and changes the knobs. But as I was saying with the reverb, it does that. I'm just using the tone control on the pedal. So I'm happy with it right there, back to between 4 and 5, without the delay. With it. And then again, I have my clean. This is, that's when I am actually on the clean channel, which I'm really not. So yeah, the other thing is I was asked my vibe pedal. I have tape over it to hold the knob down. My Roto Vibe pedal, I do believe it's called. I got tape over it to hold the patch cord down, so it's not sticking up in the air, and I don't like the ends touching anything else. If an end is going to be touching something, I'll wrap it with electrical tape because I don't want metal touching metal on the, I got static free, I've got, static free patch cords. Every little thing to keep the hum and the hiss down. So, when I'm here, when I'm clean, I always use this. That's the knob all the way up on the side, but the pedal is all the way, heel all the way down. If I went heel up, I get that. So that's where I like it. If I push the red button and make it go to chorus, heel down, so yeah, then again if I go down, go back to Roto Vibe. Get my fingering right. So you get that. If I went back to chorus and then came down, it gets, it gets that really spacey And there's a guy here in Florida that makes a pedal that sounds like a video game. Do 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 do. You know, I saw it on YouTube. It's pretty cool. I was like thinking to myself, that's fun for maybe about 5 minutes, but how can you really use that? I thought back in the day, an effects pedal is going to make me sound better. You know, little, did I know that it's not in really the guitar or the effects or the amp. It's in your hands. And because I was brought up playing my classical nylon string acoustic guitar until the age of 14, when I finally bought my very first electric guitar from a pawn shop, O'Neill's. It was 2 years later that I actually got the amp, and it was just a guitar and the amp, and I didn't know anything about distortion. I didn't know anything about overdrive, and I'm wondering how these guitars are sounding like they're doing, what they're playing. And I didn't know at the time that they're using a delay, a slapback. So what had happened is when I, like, for example, Frampton, he's playing a song and he's got chorus on and he's got the Marshall amp cranked and he's got a slapback, which is like, so I didn't know about that at the time. So as I was playing to those songs and using my dad's, what is he? He had a collection of albums, 33 and a third. You had 45, 33 and a third, and then you had something in between. It wasn't a full, it was in between the size. And I think you may have had 3 different settings on the record player. I don't remember. But he had the medium size jazz albums. And I would put them on in the living room of my house with my guitar and my amp. And I would play to them, but I would play clean. So every time when I would play and try to figure out, whatever key they're in, because again, I didn't know anything about keys, and I would play it, I was like, and then I just keep, and then I until I found it, and then play it and just make a solo up to play along with it. Later on, again, I was still playing in my garage, and I would bring an album out. I would bring out, everything out of the house, put it in the garage, and just wail on it. And on guitar licks where they're using a slapback or delay, especially like Peter Frampton, I didn't know he was like hitting just one note, but making it sound like it's 2. So I was learning to play that fast. That's how I got my speed picking down from that. Playing clean and hearing it and knowing, oh, that's not right. And then just playing faster, because I always thought when I'm hearing a guitar solo with a slapback or something, I was like, oh, he's really going, especially the country pickers. When they go on, I was like, well, I got to play that fast. And that's how I got to do it. That's how I got my speed down on my picking. So, yeah, and then after seeing scales on the neck just one day, all of a sudden, like I don't know, if I got bonked on the head or something. One day I just saw it. I just saw it all on the neck and knew where to go. And I can't say that I've ever studied that from somewhere. I've only had 3 lessons. And I remember at the time, he was like showing me. I think it was here. I think it was here. Like that. And that's really the only one that I knew, and I don't even know what scale that is. But yeah, I still got the rotor vibe on. So yeah, that's how I use it. I use it clean. I don't use it dirty all too much, because when I'm playing, I've got dirt on. I've got to step down on it, and this is what happens. Give you an idea. And then I got to get it up, slower speed down. And then to turn it off, I got to do that, and then you hear it. So in place of that, I would just go to the phase shifter. Especially like for like things like that, or like in the beginning that I did on this intro. So yeah, that's pretty much how I run it. Plus, I found out something on here. Check this out. So it's a three-way switch, so in between the two, like it's a dead switch. I just found that out today with the knob, because I had some dirt in the knob, and as I was turning it on, you could hear so I was sitting there going like this until it was all gone, and that's basically it, really. The powder drink that I mentioned earlier is this stuff here. This with the blue, methylene blue. This is the stuff that my best friend at the time turned me on to, and I've been taking it ever since, probably for, I don't know, 3-4 years now. So I have a glass of that with lunch, whatever I'm having for lunch, and I'm good for the rest of the day. And then I started taking the methylene blue. When I get down to like so much where it's in an orange glass, I'll put it in an orange juice glass, and then put my 10 drops in, 10 to 12 drops, and then stir it, and then drink the rest of that down. Again, just so that it just helps with memory function. So, and I try not to do all the time, because I hear that in my videos, and I don't know about you, but it drives me nuts. It drives you nuts. You can complain about it in the comments, and I'll agree with you. I can't believe how I was like, I wish I had $1 for every time someone goes, and I do it. Just like watching Nuno Betancourt. It's like every time he's got to play with his hair. It's like, I wish I had $1 for every time in an interview, a 15-minute interview, he's playing with his hair. Masters the Shred, that guy. I wish I had $1 for every time he says, dude. Yeah, that's me. So, I can't think of anything else on this pedal board worth showing. And the reason why, and I'm only doing this because, like I said, a friend of mine asked me about it, because it's the same pedal that Zakk Wylde uses. And it's funny too, because how many times do you have to have a brand name signature pedal? These guys use the pedal from the company, like MXR, then all of a sudden, oh, Eddie Van Halen's using an MXR, Zakk Wylde's using an MXR. Oh, we got to make one just for them so we can make more money. And the same thing happens with all the overdrive pedals, and then the wah-wah pedals. How many signature wah-wah pedals? I can't tell you, and this is the only pedal I've not done it to. All my Crybaby Baby pedals that I've had, I would go in and I would tweak them. I would take the back plate off. I would take the little screw, move the setting, turn the knob, you know, the spindle knob, put it back on, tighten it back up, just to get more low end out of the pedal. And now they got knobs to do that. I'm like, and then because it's a what's his name, Slash. It's a Slash pedal. Let's paint it red and you know, get more money for it. Yeah, it drives me crazy. I'm surprised they haven't approached Zach and say, hey Zach, you use the Rotovibe pedal from Dunlop. Let's make one and change the color from red to, I don't know, camouflage for you or something, and then put your name on it like this. Doesn't that drive you crazy? It drives me crazy. Thanks for watching. Have a good day and a better tomorrow.